So let's dive in and explore what makes GroqCasters so special. All right, so one of the things I love about GroqCasters is the customization option. You can create your own voice samples and use them in your podcast.
Yeah, I have. It's actually pretty simple. You just record your voice, upload it to GroqCasters, and you're good to go. I've even used voice presets to create different characters for my podcast. It's like having a whole cast of characters at your fingertips.
So cool. I've used custom voices to create a more personal touch in my episodes. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes. And I think that's one of the things that sets GroqCasters apart from other podcast creation tools.
Absolutely. Personalization is key in podcasting. You want your listeners to feel like they're listening to a real person, not just a robot. I mean, think about it. When you're listening to a podcast, don't you want to feel like you're having a conversation with the host?
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about scripting. Mike, can you walk us through how GroqCasters supports user-written scripts?
Sure thing. So with GroqCasters, you can write your own scripts and upload them to the platform. It's super easy to use, and you have complete control over the content. And then you can even use pre-written scripts and modify them to fit your podcast style.
That's amazing. I've used pre-written scripts and modified them to fit my podcast style. It's so much easier than trying to write everything from scratch. And I love how you can experiment with different scripts and see what works best for your podcast.
Yeah, and the best part is that you can experiment with different scripts and see, what works best for your podcast. It's like having a sandbox to play in. You can try out different ideas and see what sticks.
Okay, so let's talk about multi-character podcasts. Mike, can you explain how GroqCasters enables this feature?
Yeah, so with GroqCasters, you can create podcasts with multiple characters, which is something that NotebookLM just can't do. You can use different voices and create a whole cast of characters. It's like having a mini movie in your podcast.
That's so cool. I've used multiple characters in my podcast, and it's amazing how much more engaging it makes the episodes. Mike, can you walk us through the process of extending GroqCasters for multiple characters?
Sure thing. So basically, you just need to create separate voice samples for each character and upload them to GroqCaster. Then you can use the platform scripting feature to create a script that incorporates all the different characters. It's like having a whole team of actors at your fingertips.
That sounds pretty straightforward. I used this feature to create some really interesting episodes, and I think it's one of the things that sets GroqCasters apart from other podcast creation tools.
I think GroqCasters is like a Swiss Army knife for podcast creation. It's got all these different features and tools that you can use to create the perfect podcast.
I love that analogy. And I think it's also like a director's chair for podcasting. You get to be the director, the writer, and the star of your own show.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes GroqCasters so powerful. It's like the secret sauce of podcasting. It makes your content stand out from the crowd.
Okay, so let's wrap up this episode and tease our next.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out GroqCasters yet, definitely give it a try. It's free, it's open source, and it's incredibly powerful.
And don't forget to tune in next time when we'll be exploring advanced features of GroqCasters. We'll be diving deeper into the platform and showing you some of the more advanced techniques you can use to create amazing.
Yeah, and we'll also be sharing some success stories from podcasters who are using GroqCasters to create amazing content.
So, thanks for listening. We'll catch you all in the next episode.
Yeah, and before we go, just a quick tip, make sure you check out the GroqCasters documentation. It's got some great tutorials and guides to help you get started.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to experiment. GroqCasters is a really powerful tool, and the best way to learn it is by using it.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or need help troubleshooting, be sure to check out the GroqCasters community forum. There are some really knowledgeable people there who can help you out.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to try GroqCasters today and take your podcasting to the next level.
They sound so real. GroqCaster. Like a thing.